you look a little weakless. Cory, you and I jumped into what I would classify as an artistic adventure puzzling game.
Yeah, we've had a couple of these lately, eh?
It's been a weird week, my friend.
Yes, it has been. Weakless.
Yes.
Let's say, honestly, Drew, the first thing I want to say is I am Groot, because that's what these characters remind me of. They're these kind of tree-like, vine-like, humanoid characters, I want to call them. It's very hard to describe exactly what these people are.
So one is like a child or an infant in a sense, and then they've got this like almost like a ball of pollen over top their head. And
yes.
So you have this thing you can just, I don't know, pollen shoots out of this.
It's very botanical, this game. It's all about the plants, all about the wildlife, everything about the environment in this game.
So you have the little one, and then the older guy or female or whatever it is, either way, is blindfolded. And that's how they experience the entire game. And you're able to traverse back and forth between the two characters, which is really cool. And you can tell, so this is, I think, one of the coolest parts about the game, is the fact that the one that's blindfolded is when you jump into that perspective, the world is black and white.
Yes.
You can see all around the world, including underneath.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought, kind of weird.
Yeah,
sometimes
the camera angles in this game are a little interesting because you don't realize how much free range you have with moving the camera around in this game, where it's almost actually a little hindering at points until you start to really learn how to traverse this world.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the other aspect of it is because the person's blindfolded and they can't see, when you hit the staff, you then get this kind of echo ripple effect.
Yeah.
But your senses are heightened versus the other one, because the minute you transfer over to the little one, everything goes real quiet. But then you bounce back to the blindfolded person.
Things are enhanced.
Everything's enhanced. The music's much louder. You can witness the things just differently. And I thought that perspective take between the two characters was really cool. Probably about the coolest part about the game.
Oh yeah, like when I first experienced switching over to the, I'm just gonna say the blind character for this. Yeah, you get that black and white world, and then everything is enhanced. You can hear the footsteps, you can hear the environment around you, and it's cool. It was, that's a small kind of touch that maybe not a lot of people would necessarily think about when you switch to a character like this. All your senses are heightened. Everything else, if you don't have your sense of sight, everything's heightened. And they kind of had this in this game. Then you switch back to the smaller character, you get that kind of lush greenery back, and now you're interacting with the world in a different way. And I did enjoy the ability, especially early on in the game, is you kind of really got the feel for the characters and how their abilities help you through, traverse the world. Yeah. And there isn't a ton of things to learn in this. The control set is fairly simple.
Yes.
It's not difficult to get a handle on. But again, the camera is actually the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh, I'm having a tough time. It's very free with that right stick. And that camera can really move all over the place.
It can.
And I just had a tough time kind of centering myself sometimes when I'm trying to, because there's the smaller character has an ability to like pollinate things, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah.
And you really have to like aim that. And so I had a difficult time sometimes getting it and projecting in the right way. So it was just, for me there's a lot of things about this game that I was just kind of like, what's going on here? Like, what am I doing?
So, okay, basically the whole premise of the game is that your tree, in a sense, is kind of getting populated with this bad sap. This is what I took away from the game.
Infection, I guess you want to call it.
There's a virus that's in your tree, and you got to go to the heart of the tree and fix the problem. It's basically the whole 3-hour adventure of this game. Because man, it was when I got to the ending, and no spoilers, but man, that was a letdown with that ending. I was like, this is it. That's all I got out of this. I was kind of a little anticlimactic to get to that point and go, man, that's all I did. So the puzzles in the game it's a puzzle game. Yeah. Which, for the most part, some were too easy, some were complicated, but not too complicated. And one particular one that I struggled with the most, probably took me a good 15 minutes to get through, was this conveyor setup. And the little one would fall in the conveyor, but then you had to transfer over to the blind one to hit these buttons. Yeah. And switch your character around on this conveyor system to get them out it was cumbersome, and because you then the way the characters work together.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Oh my goodness! So as you move, the other one always follows with you, right?
Yes.
So as my other character, when I flip back to the young one to see where he is or she is, whatever, going across in the conveyors, the other one up top is following all over the place.
It's moved, yes.
But I got to hit another lever in order to get the other one to move on to a different conveyor. But now I'm out of joint or out of complacency of where I was initially because it's too busy following the little one that's all over the flipping place. And it was just. That puzzle, it particularly, drove me insane. The rest of the game I thought was okay, but it's just, honestly, it's not a strong game. The game is weak.
You know what? It is weak. The puzzles, like you said, it's like they were too easy, or it was just maybe a little too obscure to necessarily pick out right away.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice to have maybe a little more variety in the puzzles too, because of the way the environment lays out. I actually found it difficult sometimes to exactly figure out what parts of the environment I need to interact with to, you know, move along or advance certain puzzles. Like some of them are very visual and you'll be able to see there's things on the ground. Other ones are a little more, you have to be closer to realize, oh, this is a button prompt that I can hit to interact with this item or do something like that. So I found because the environment is so detailed actually, is that some of these prompts are just like little white dots on the screen, and I found it that they kind of meshed in because there's a lot of other things on this screen that kind of look the same way. I'm not saying I was totally lost. I'm splitting hairs here.
Sure.
But again, it's just one of those things where I know if I'm jumping into a game, I just want to be able to play it through and kind of understand what I'm doing the entire time. Yeah. I didn't have a feeling like that when I played this game.
So not everybody, I think, is going to enjoy this game. To be honest, it's an interesting game. There is no dialogue in the game whatsoever. It is done with pictures and you just experiencing the outtake of the world. The music is actually not bad. I didn't mind it. You said it got repetitive. I get that.
At points, yeah.
It can be repetitive, sure, but honestly, it's not a $60 game.
No.
So it's you kind of know what you're getting there, and in that sense, and I feel bad kind of saying that, but at the same time, this is what you get. The game isn't the greatest game. I wouldn't even recommend this game. This game obviously came up a little weak for both of us. What are you scoring this one?
You know what? I can't give it a high score out of the fact that I don't think if somebody else jumped into this, they'd enjoy it any more than I did.
Yeah.
You know what, Drew? I gotta give this one a 4.
You know what? I'm right there with you. 4 as well.
Weakless is an artistic puzzle experience. With a playtime right around 3 hours, you'll find yourself cruising through the simplistic puzzles rather quickly, but the odd character type and lack of direction will have you scratching your head at times with this one.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.